Welcome back to Breaking Down Storage Tech. Today we're breaking down a smart box display by Sandcaribou. So let's get straight into it. So this is a smart box display and I'm just going to quickly explain what that is. So a box display is what it is. It displays a shulker box full of items when you have a box above it or a chest above it full of that type of shulker box. And this is really helpful for bulk storages, so instead of having to take out a shulker box, take out a single item, and then put the shulker box back in it, you just have quick access to it in immediate item form, while also still being able to get out boxes of it if you need it. Now, what a typical box display system is it just checks if the box is full, and if it's not full, it cycles the box. But a smart box display checks that it is full and is closed, because if it's not closed, then you could just be emptying items and just want to put a stack back, and it just makes it more convenient. But yeah, so that's what a smart box display is. And now I'm just going to quickly state that this is probably one of the most intricate redstone pieces of redstone circuitry I've ever seen, and I think it's really cool. So let's get straight into it. So essentially, the first thing to note is there's a comparator taking power out from here. So that means that it's checking if it's empty, which first of all powers this block, powering this note block, keeping this piston extended. Now at the same time, it also keeps this torch unpowered. So if the the shulker box is empty, it will retract this piston, and it will also power this redstone torch, extending this so the powdered snow covers the box. This is not really so much for input or user appearances, but it's mainly for when the box is getting cycled and it breaks, it doesn't shoot a million miles into the air. And that's really the main thing, so that everything can flow nicely into this water stream right here where you'll have your empty boxes. Now, this shulker box also has an observer facing it that will detect every time it opens and closes. And you can see there with my texture pack, it signals once every time it's open and once every time it's closed, and yeah, or twice depending on how long you open it or close it. And basically it powers through the sticky piston, and because it's a sticky piston facing the observer, it actually won't power the sticky piston because it can't power it through, or it can't power if it's going to extend into the power source. Otherwise that would cause some weird repeating clock never-ending scenarios that are really buggy, so the game just doesn't allow it. But it does power this sticky piston through it, and because of the delay of the sticky piston, it filters out any chance of any double signal, so it only checks when it's open and when it's closed. Now what happens there is it powers through here, this observer detects that the piston extends and powers this block and powers this note block. Now this little system of the two pistons kind of acts as the AND gate to check between is the box empty and is the box closed. So what will happen is it will try and power this note block, and it'll try and power this piston, but because this piston's already extending and pushing it there, it won't power. It'll try and power, but it won't extend, just because it can't push back against the piston that's already happened. So this is how the AND gate works. So if this is retracted because the shulker box is empty, then it will be able to push, and it will move the note block up, and because it will extend this piston right here, moving the note block up, and this will cause an observer update. This observer update will then power this redstone repeater, powering this block right here, and this has two main signals, going up and to all of this stuff right here, but at the same time to this redstone torch and going down this redstone torch tower. Well, let's just talk about this main signal here for now. So what will happen is it'll power this sticky piston, pushing this observer right here, and because the observer gets moved, it causes an update, so it powers this sticky piston right here. And because the sticky piston's right here, it will push this observer into the powdered snow, or this observer into the shulker box into the powdered snow, breaking it, causing it to drop as a box. And what will happen then is the observer will be where the shulker box is. The shulker box will be as an item form inside the powdered snow, and it will actually update the observer because it got moved, and power the sticky piston under it through quasi-connectivity, which is one of the weirdest uses of quasi-connectivity, but I think it's very unique, and it makes this system very entertaining to watch, because you'll see the sticky piston fire for no reason apart from the fact that there's an observer right here and it's powering it directly through air. So it's quite interesting. And so it'll power the sticky piston through the air, causing it to pull the observer back to here, you still have the observer or the powdered snow up here, and now you have the shulker box as an item right here on top of the observer where it would be. Now you might say that, oh well, because this observer is moving down and up because of the because it's just a simple pulse and not like a constant signal, this piston should be firing a bunch of times, causing this observer and causing a bunch of recycles. But that's not actually the case, because what happens the first time is the first time the system runs, the note block gets pushed up to here where this piston head is, and what that causes it to do is nullify any signals from this observer, because it'll just be powering this block, powering straight air, so it can't power this piston right here. So that basically cancels out any signals that may be coming from this piston repeatedly extending. And so yeah, so this observer will return back to normal, nothing too big. So what we have now is a item box, or the box in an item form above this observer, powdered snow blocking it, and the observer right here. And this is where this half of the system, or the redstone torch line, comes in handy. So this redstone torch will unpower as soon as it gets powered from this redstone repeater, and go through some extra delay to make sure the timings are just right. And what will happen then, it will power this redstone torch, unpowering this redstone torch, which will cause this repeater to unpower, unpowering this block, unpowering the sticky piston, so it will retract the observer back to where this piston head is, allowing this shulker box down to fall right here where this observer is. Now, what happens then is this signal goes up into this system right here, and this redstone torch will actually repower because it's no longer getting powered from this redstone torch, causing this first, because of the delay right here, it'll cause this redstone torch to unpower, allowing this hopper to unlock, allowing one item to flow into this dropper, and one item or one box from here to flow into this item hopper, replacing it. And it will actually power this dropper right here through this redstone, or this redstone repeater being powered. But what will also happen is, because what will also happen is it will extend this sticky piston. And then now we have to go through the second round of signals of when this redstone torch unpowers. So it'll cause here, this will repower, making sure that this sticky piston stays extended. This will unpower again, and this will repower. So what it kind of causes is, it causes the shulker box to move into here, move into this dispenser, and be spat out into this block here. And because now it's here, this the comparator is now taking a readout, so it burns out this redstone torch, causing the sticky piston to pull back, allowing the shulker box to be visible, and extends this piston to move this note block here, so the signal can be once again. So what this actually looks like at speed is, if we see right here, if I go here, move this out here, you can see this piston locks, it sends a signal, it'll go up here, quasi-connectivity power, go back, move out here, here, and it looks a little bit glitchy because of the thing, but if you have this a bunch of tiled, it won't spit out like that anymore. If I go back to real speed, so that just shut out because it does happen sometimes, but we can ignore that. If it's tileable, it won't be able to go in that direction, so it'll only be forced to go into here. So we'll just try that one more time so you can see it spit out here, and you'll see break the box, come back, moved out to the side, push it here, and this box is already here because the timings of the system are so clean. Now, the last thing to cover is what happens if you run out of boxes. So I'm just going to clear the system. I'm going to leave this here. What happens if you run out of boxes? So we'll just run the system one last time to clear out the boxes. What happens when you run out of boxes? Well, you have no more input from this system right here, so this kind of remains in a bit of a weird spot because the note block doesn't reset from the cycle running, but this piston or this sticky the comparator takes no longer an output, so it's no longer powering this redstone torch, allowing this piston to extend, blocking it up. So you can still fall through, but you no longer have access to any blocks. But then you may ask, okay, what if I add a bunch of boxes back? Well, nothing will happen because this system will lock and there's no signal to get a thing. So this is the thing about most box displays. You have to have a signal or a startup signal because most of them rely on feedback, and when there's no feedback, it can't happen anything. So how do you get the system to start up again? Well, you take a power source and you power this block right here, this node block. So you go here, here, and then you unpower, and then you send a signal here, and that you have to run this twice, because the first one's just to get the item in the buffer, and then the second time you extend it, and then you power here, the blocks this out, and the system runs as normal. So you can have a line to do this, or actually you'd have to have two lines, one for the bottom one and one for the top one, but you could have it in when you implement this into a storage system, so that way you don't have to go into the guts of the system and do it. But overall, this is probably one of the most intricate pieces of redstone I've seen in a while, and the way the timings fit together so cleanly, and it uses some really cool tricks like powering the piston through the sticky piston and this AND gate through the use of pistons and the quasi connectivity. I think it's really, really cool. So yeah, overall, really, really great system, and thank you for watching.